This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Not everybody says they're ready for the implementation of the newly introduced National High School Diploma.
Jared Higgs spoke with some stakeholders, including BUT President Belinda Wilson, who says an education campaign is needed.
With the implementation of the National High School Diploma, educators such as C.I. Gibson Principal Herbert Ombler will be tasked with guiding this year's incoming 10th grade class through the 3-year journey.
The idea is for all students to receive something at the end of 3 years that everybody will be on par with.
While the C.I. Gibson principal was optimistic, other stakeholders in education have expressed some concern over the new standard. BUT President Belinda Wilson says she was a member of the National Education Council, the committee responsible for drafting the diploma policy. However, Wilson says she and others are not sure how the policy will be rolled out.
But we did not have the mandate to do the specific details. So as I speak to you today, the union and the teachers, even administrators, are concerned as to the specific details of the implementation of the high school diploma.
The union leader says long-term education efforts are needed as well.
So I hope that the ministry and the department has some workshops planned, not just a one-off, but some workshops that will continue throughout this term and throughout the school year.
The diploma program involves core courses and pathway courses, with the pathway courses aimed at steering the children into their career of choice. And with low examination results and declining graduation rates, many would agree that a change is certainly needed.
For those students who are going directly into college after high school, the courses would be geared toward college-level programs. Those students who are going directly into the workplace, the courses would be designed for the workplace for those students. And those students who are going into the apprenticeship program after high school, the courses would be designed for those students.
But the bottom line is for everybody to play their part in order for it to be successful.
Jared Higgs, ZNS Network News.
Well, after a year in the construction phase, the Our Lady Special Needs Center, the first of its kind for the Ministry of Education, will officially open its doors for the new academic school term.
That's some very good news, because last week education officials took us on a tour of the new multi-million-dollar facility, and LaDon Davis tells us how it will be used to provide intervention services for students lagging behind in core subject areas.
We're very pleased and excited in special education to have such an excellent initiative. Is something that we've been working for years.
And come September, the new $1.5 million Our Lady Special Needs Center on DeVoe Street, with 8 classrooms and outfitted with an elevator, will be put to good use. The school will accommodate nearly 100 students ages 5 to 16 with learning deficiencies. Senior Officer for Special Education Sharon Laing tells us what types of services will be offered to give students the push they need to excel academically.
The center will be based around 4 main pillars. We have diagnostic and consultative services. We will have intervention services. We will have professional development and training, and also research. So it's the whole gamut. And this is giving every child a chance to maximize his or her potential.
Individually based, and as my colleagues have said, research-based. So we're not going to be doing anything off the top of our heads. We're going to be doing things that have been proven, things that have been tried and tested in the Bahamas on our Bahamian community.
Director of Education Lionel says testing will play a critical role in assessing the demands and needs of our students.
What we've found over the years is that about 25% of our students have some learning disability in our school system. This has been designed to identify those disabilities within our students, not only to identify them through testing, but also to provide some intervening or intervention for those students before we send them back into the mainstream.
Work on the facility to accommodate these students began in August last year by Buildex Construction Company. But according to Chief Architect Livingston Forbes, there's still a lot more work to be done.
We're putting in also some facilities as relates to security, more lighting and security booth out front. We're going to upgrade the boundary wall to make sure it'll give it the ambience and security for the overall campus.
Meanwhile, the administrative team will move into the building this week, with students arriving a few weeks later. Additionally, an after-school program will be offered in the future for older students. LaDon Davis, ZNS Network News.
Well, with the majority of the population in New Providence shifting south, Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald says plans are being discussed to construct 2 new schools in that area. He explained that presently schools in the south are overcrowded and parents simply can't make the move to have their students placed in other schools around the island, which would free up some space.
We're looking probably within the next year or so to begin to construct a new junior high school and a primary school in the south, and I think that if we can get that accomplished, both of those built in the next 3 years, it'll really alleviate a lot of the pressure in the south, because that's probably the only place in the country where we experience any degree of what would be considered overcrowding. But we're just trying to accept as many kids as we can without it adversely impacting our ability to reach the students.
And in sports, highlights from Government League basketball playoff highlights. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight live on the ZMS Network.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's.